Quick live look downtown Denver on this Tuesday morning, St. Patty's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. And we're also bracing for the start of a historic March heat wave. Thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock. I'm Drew Carney.
And I'm Sam Shocker here with our Jaden Knowles. Okay, Jaden, we know it's going to get warm in the week. Does that include today?
That does include today. I mean, that strong high pressure system already starting to build in, and we're already starting to see that effects of that, especially as we head into this afternoon. Now, as you're getting ready to head out the door this morning, temperatures not as cool and cold as what we saw just yesterday morning. I mean, if you remember, we saw 5 degrees at the airport this time yesterday. Right now, we're in the upper 30s as well as the low 40s, so you might need that light jacket as you're getting your day started. But current temperatures across the entire state, we are seeing the upper 20s, low 30s for the eastern plains, 20s and 30s in the high country, and also the upper 30s for the western slope. Live radar, really not much going on. We're going to stay nice and dry really the next couple of days, even maybe lasting until weeks. But today is St. Patrick's Day. I hope everyone celebrates that and be safe this afternoon. 71 degrees is what we're forecasting with lots of sunshine. But here's what we can expect, especially by the end of this week, especially on Friday. We're talking about the first day of spring. That happens at 8:46 in the morning, but it's going to feel like summer. We're going to break down the details for you later on in the show. Brianna?
Jaden, thank you so much. Sky 9 right now giving us a live look of Santa Fe and I-25, so near Alameda 6th Avenue. And for anyone heading down south, maybe taking Colorado Boulevard and I-25. Traffic very light in this area. I kind of want to show you what that looks like on our CDOT cameras as well. Taking a live look from I-25 and 58th Avenue. So all those cars heading towards us, these are the southbound lanes. You can see the express lanes, very, very quiet. Northbound lanes, same story. So traffic has picked up along southbound I-25 near the North Washington area. I do want to show you what this looks like on our maps and get to your drive times because we're not tracking any crashes this morning. So I want to zoom into 6th Avenue heading to westbound I-70 or leaving the Lakewood area. So Wadsworth, Sheridan, Federal into I-25, you're looking at a 7-minute drive. And then for anyone taking southbound I-25, not far from that CDOT camera that I just showed you, you're looking at a 9-minute drive.
All right, Brianna, thank you. The rising cost of gas continues to make headlines with prices at the pump more than $1 from just a month ago. Prices in Colorado could soon reach $4 a gallon. 9 News reporter Courtney Yoon joins us live now looking for some of the cheapest gas in the area this morning. So Courtney, Colorado's average gas prices are higher right now than we're seeing with the national average.
Yes, that's right. Good morning, Sam and Drew. And I think I did find the cheapest gas in the Denver Metro. My photographer, Manny Sotelo, and I have been roving around the last hour or so, and we found this place, this TA Travel Stop. It's $3.19. Driving around through Denver, the highest prices we were seeing, an average, was about $3.89, $3.86. But all the way out here in Wheat Ridge, $3.19 for a gallon of regular at this TA Travel Center. You'll find this gas station at I-70 and 44th in Wheat Ridge. So last month, the average cost for a gallon of regular gas in Colorado was $2.77, according to AAA. Now it's up $1.04 to $3.81 per gallon here in Colorado, and that's 2 cents more than the national average and creeping real close to that $4 mark. Since the U.S.-Israeli war with Iran started, U.S. oil prices have risen nearly 50%, according to NBC News. The cost of crude oil has risen nearly 75% just this year. Iran continues to attack tankers in the Strait of Hormuz, effectively closing it, and that's where 1/5 of the world's oil supply comes through. So President Trump is urging U.S. allies to help secure and reopen that critical oil route, but those allies are resisting stepping in, according to NBC News. On NBC's Meet the Press on Sunday, Energy Secretary Chris Wright said it could still be a number of weeks before military escorts could be possible in order to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. He said until the war with Iran ends, elevated pricing will continue, and Wright went on to say that there's a good chance gas prices could drop to about $3 per gallon by this summer. But meantime, on this St. Patrick's Day, you might need the luck of the Irish to find those gas prices, except for if you come here to Wheat Ridge, $3.19 at the TA at I-70 and 44th. Otherwise, we saw cheaper prices at the big box stores like Sam's Club and Costco. Live in Wheat Ridge, Courtney Yoon, 9 News.
Either the luck of the Irish or Courtney Yoon to tell you where to go. Thank you for that update, Courtney.
Mm-hmm.
The busy spring break travel season comes with some serious wait times right now at airports around the country. Federal officials say a record number of TSA workers are calling out at this point. That's left some travelers waiting in security lines for hours. After missing a second paycheck, TSA says 366 of its officers have quit, and hundreds others are calling out every day so they can work a second job to make ends meet.
This is a kitchen table issue. Sit at the table, speak to the TSA officers, Find out from them what's going on.
We are concerned that if this continues, it's a matter of if and not when we're going to have significant impacts at the airport, and those impacts are just going to worsen.
TSA has lost funding as part of the partial government shutdown. Democrats want to reform immigration enforcement before they agree on any sort of funding. So with no signs of compromise here, TSA recommends that people show up to the airport 3 hours early.
Right now, CBI and Denver police need you to help them look for a teen who went missing 3 days ago. 13-year-old Andrew Brown was last seen along 28th in Williams, not too far from City Park. It is unclear what he is wearing, but law enforcement is concerned for his safety. If you know anything at all, call 911 or Denver PD using the number you see on your screen.
A former funeral home owner in southern Colorado who helped her ex-husband hide nearly 200 decomposing bodies has been sentenced to 18 years in prison. Carrie Halford had faced up to 20 years after she pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud. She and her ex-husband, John, took $130,000 from families who went to Return to Nature Funeral Home in Penrose for funeral services. Some families were given urns full of concrete mix instead of their loved ones' ashes. They also defrauded the federal government of nearly $900,000 in pandemic relief funds. Carrie also faces up to 35 years in prison for state charges of abusing a corpse. Her ex-husband has already been sentenced to 20 years on federal charges and 40 years on state charges, which he'll serve at the same time.
Firefighters from Colorado are in Nebraska tonight helping fight the largest fire in that state's history. The Ray Fire Department says that it sent 4 of its members and its truck to assist with the Morrill fire. The fire started Thursday. In the days since, it has burned over 890 square miles and led to a person's death. Some good news, firefighters are now reporting 18% containment. Another major fire, the Cottonwood fire, has burned over 205 square miles. It is now 40% contained. And the Rocky Mountain Complex Incident Management Team is managing the fires. It is made up of personnel from Colorado, Nebraska, South Dakota, and Wyoming.
Investigators say there is no evidence to suggest that someone deliberately set a fire in Thornton that prompted evacuations and closed down I-25. Thornton Fire announced yesterday that their investigation into this February 25th fire is over, and they were not able to determine an exact cause. But they did figure out where it started, the mulch bed of a school playground. Fire investigators say video showed people walking nearby, but investigators didn't notice anything suspicious about those people. The owner of a car restoration business told us the fire destroyed nearly 150 cars at his lot, and a modular home builder said one of the domes that was set up outside their business was also lost in the fire.
A small fire that prompted evacuations in Fort Collins last week was caused by downed power lines. That is according to Poudre Fire. The department says a tree fell onto the lines Thursday afternoon and landed in dry grass. And it happened near Highway 287 and Sterry Lane on the southwest side of Terry Lake. The fire burned about an acre but did not damage any buildings. Wind was gusting 50 to 60 miles per hour at the time. All of Walsenburg down in southern Colorado still has no safe running water.
This has been a problem for days now for that community. The problem for the city of a few thousand people started early Friday morning. That's when a major water main broke, causing pressure to drop across the entire system. The city issued a boil water notice as their crews looked for the source of the leak, but here we are days later and they still haven't found it. The mayor says the city's aging water system has made the situation even more difficult.
I know it's frustrating. People, especially if you can't flush a toilet, it's miserable. I don't think there's anything worse than losing your water. I mean, you could put a blanket on for heat, but, you know, between not being able to cook, not bathe, not use the toilets, it's been a big inconvenience.
The county has brought in bottled water at this point, and CPW is offering up its facilities at nearby Lathrop State Park for free so people can take hot showers there. Colorado cities, meanwhile, rushing to rewrite their sentencing laws and municipal code after a state Supreme Court stripped these municipalities of the power to punish certain crimes more harshly than the state does. So this ruling came down back in December, and it stems from litigation involving the cities of Aurora and Westminster. It caps municipal court sentences at state levels for any offense that has a similar state charge, things like assault, theft, and trespassing. Aurora City Attorney Pete Schulte says his city had imposed stricter penalties for retail and auto theft, crimes that he says were driving residents to feel victimized.
We really hit hard, our city council did at the time, hit hard to increase those penalties. And there are some members of city council that believe that helped curb some of the criminal activity in those realms.
The Supreme Court ruling means they can no longer impose those harsher sentences.
The World Anti-Doping Agency is considering rewriting its rules to try barring all U.S. government officials from attending the LA Olympics in 2028. So this has to do with a long-standing spat between the U.S. government and the World Anti-Doping Agency. The U.S. cited concerns that the agency allowed athletes from other countries to compete even after they tested positive for banned substances. One case in particular involved a group of Chinese swimmers back in the 2021 and 2024 games. The agency says the measure targets governments that don't pay on time, potentially excluding officials from major events. Experts call enforcement unlikely. The proposal is on the agenda for tomorrow's meeting of the Global Drug Fighting Watchdog's Executive Committee.
Well, your time now is 6:10, and as you're getting ready to head out the door this morning, you might need the light jacket. Not as cold as what we saw just yesterday morning. We're sitting in the upper 30s, low 40s, but trust me, as we head into this afternoon on this beautiful St. Patrick's Day, we're talking about those warm temperatures. Might even see a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow. 71 degrees is what we're forecasting. Later on in the show, we'll talk more in details about what to expect with these warm and hot temperatures that we're expecting by the end of the week later on in the show.